You're not unlucky, Pisces. Someone may have been stacking the deck against you. Let's dive in. Hey Pisces, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through today's reading. This is a timeless reading for Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or wherever Pisces falls in your chart. Crosswatchers also welcome. My intention for this reading is to help you come into better alignment with your highest good in this moment. Let's see what's going on with Pisces. The heart of your reading, we have the Empress. This is you coming into a fuller expression of your own divine feminine energy, or coming into alignment with a powerful feminine figure, someone who could take you under their wing and nurture you and guide you in some way. Let's see what's the challenge. Oh, 10 of Cups. Well, this is already shaping up to be quite a happy reading. I like it so far. I don't want to speak too soon and jinx anything, right? But we have the 10 of Cups as your challenge, which means you could feel that you're dreaming too big. You could feel that your ideal emotional fulfillment is forever out of reach. That, you know, it's just a pipe dream. But if there's anyone who's going to accomplish a pipe dream, it's the Empress. Nothing is out of reach. Let's see, what is Pisces focused on? What has Pisces' attention? The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I think for most of you, this is speaking pretty archetypally in that you are focusing on the concept of bad luck. And that's why I felt like using the word jinx earlier. I think the sense of the potential for things to be jinxed, like you believe in that, or like perhaps you're experiencing, like you could be aware of or knowledgeable in the art and science of astrology, and you could be under a challenging transit right now, or you could feel like your astrological birth chart has posed significant challenges for you in your life in the energies of the way that you experience them. For others of you, this is just about feeling like the deck is stacked against you, and no matter how many times you approach the similar situation, as many times as life is presenting it to you, it never works out in your favor. Like, happiness is out of reach. The 10 of Cups is out of reach. Let's see what led up to this in the recent past. We have the Devil and the 5 of Wands. Well, you may have a valid reason here for feeling like the deck is stacked against you, because this is someone putting up a fight, posing as a challenger to you in whatever life situation you found yourself in the recent past. They were quite a formidable foe. And this could be a very internal reading. This could have been not necessarily an external foe that you were facing, but rather a side of yourself that you see as bad or problematic. Like, for those of you that it was resonating when I was talking about a challenging astrological transit or placement, this is like, oh, well, that's just my Saturn retrograde squaring my sun. That's, you know, like the devil on my shoulder that's always going to be like pushing me in a negative direction or causing difficult circumstances in my life. like the boogeyman sort of energy, not necessarily an actual physical mortal being that is working against you. And I think for most of you, it's more so that sort of a thing. It's that sort of an energy. Although for some of you, this could have been expressing in your recent past as an actual, like, bad guy. Someone who's deliberately trying to challenge you and cause problems in your life. If this is a relationship reading, or like on the topic of relationships, on the topic of romantic connections for you, this could be a past romantic partner showing up as devil energy, like bringing the worst out of you. Or they were great at first, but it was just an illusion, and it turns out that they were actually this terrible, manipulative, controlling narcissist who, oh, you guys, how... Okay. For a lot of you now, I'm thinking that it was that situation, because for narcissists, there's the flying monkeys. If you know, you know. And what do we have here on the Five of Wands but these little critters with wings? Pretty close to flying monkeys, if you ask me. So, like, doing the bidding of the narcissist. Like, hey guys, I hear Pisces is trying to do something, but, you know, we don't really want to let them do that. Or they were actually... they were really hurtful towards me. You should hate them because they really hurt my feelings, and it's all like a lie, right? Making you out to be the bad guy, or somehow just getting other people to work against you and getting off on the power and control of it all. And it ties in as well with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy. If that part of it was resonating with you, like if you've recently gone through a realization that you're in a pattern of dating narcissists, that's this Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy. Like, every time I try to come out of the situation, every time I try to date, I think that who they are on the surface is really who they are, and they're wonderful at first, and then it actually turns out that the mask falls off and they're terrible. Happiness is out of reach. Where is my ideal emotional fulfillment? I've done the work. I am in my full expression of my divine feminine energy. Where's my happiness? Am I never going to get it? For some of you, that's the story. Let's see. What's the reason this is all happening from the perspective of your spirit guides? From the higher perspective, what's the benefit for Pisces going through this is to lose interest. The Page of Wands in reverse in this position means what you have to gain from the situation is getting the ick, losing interest. That's the way that the next time the Wheel of Fortune comes around, you elevate and circumvent the snare. You don't fall victim to whatever trap the universe has laid for you. You hop right over that, and you are on an elevated path. You get to go through similar experiences, but elevated, out of reach of the narcissist. And it's of course oversimplification to say, but the starting point is fostering a lack of interest. Some of you may benefit to look into the gray rock method. Some of you may benefit to look into Dr. Ramani's videos on YouTube, who gets into a lot of very approachable detail about why people fall for the lies of a narcissist, and how to make different decisions moving forward. Like, what do you change within yourself in order to not fall for that? So if that's your situation, I feel like that's pretty clearly stating to lose interest, to get the ick. And the implication is so that next time someone who seems too good to be true and says all the right things and love bombs you is not appealing. You can see through the facade. You know how to time things and not allow them to rush you into a commitment, so that you can suss out whether or not they are wearing a false mask or whether they're being genuine. The Page of Wands in reverse isn't having any of it. They're just like, ew. Like, someone's coming on strong, saying how wonderful you are, saying how you're soulmates, saying how they can feel your heart beating, saying how, like, all these, like, Hallmark movie, blockbuster, romantic comedy lines. I think so, yeah. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but yeah, for those of you that it's resonating, the Page of Wands in reverse perceives that as icky, as gross, as like, ew, that's not alluring at all. Page of Wands in the upright, however, would see that and be naive and believe the world from this person. And you would never want to do me wrong because this feels so perfect. It feels so kismet. It feels so right. So let's see how this story develops in the near future. We have the Six of Wands in reverse. You're going to achieve something, but it's not going to be recognized by the people who witness your achievement as a success. And I have the feeling that this narcissistic energy, I know that's not what all of you are going through, but once I picked up on it, it's really kind of taken over as it is wont to do, right? The importance of that kind of took over the reading, so it's kind of how I am seeing this story unfold now. So if that's not your story, I apologize for losing the thread of the other storyline, because I'm seeing now this as Pisces, you're coming out victorious. You are battle weary. You've fought a good fight and you won, but you're being framed as the loser of the battle, and that's very stereotypical of a narcissistic pattern, right? You are quite isolated, and the people who see your struggle mischaracterize your situation a lot as you being the aggressor, as you being the bad guy. And it's like everyone who knows you and knows the narcissist is going to be charmed and maybe not everyone. Let's not like inflate their power or their sway, right? But in this card, there are people witnessing what you're doing, but they're not seeing it as a success. And I feel like that's echoing these flying monkeys energy in the recent past, because it's telling me you have those problematic people in your situation who have already kind of fallen under the spell of the narcissist, or of this enemy character, this person who is posing themselves as your aggressor, as your, like, dominator. So even though you won't have necessarily the recognition for it, you won't be necessarily celebrated for it, you might even be vilified, wrongly vilified for it. But the Six of Wands does show up here, telling me that you are going to be successful. Let's see what is going to surprise Pisces in this situation. The Lovers in reverse. It could surprise you that your person is going to break up with you. It could surprise you that in a moment of strength, you're going to leave them. You could not be planning on it at all, but you see an opening, you see an opportunity, and all of a sudden it strikes you like, I'm not putting up with this anymore. I'm out. And you're just going to ghost. If you believe that you might be the victim of narcissistic behavior and you're in a romantic relationship with this person, I strongly encourage you to find a therapist who is knowledgeable in the situation. Don't go to couples counseling with that person. Don't tell them that you're going to counseling. Or, like I said, seek out there's a lot of good information, even just here on YouTube. Dr. Ramani is one that comes to mind, but when you search for that, if you can do so safely, there's a lot of good advice and techniques. They go into detail about like how to extricate yourself as safely as possible from a situation like that. So if you feel like it's tricky, like you can't just easily leave, even if you don't have anyone who's helpful physically there with you in your life right now, there are resources of information available to you. So I encourage you to seek that out. But you might be discarded by the narcissist. That's the stage at which they are no longer having fun and they want to put you on the back burner. A word of caution though, if this is resonating with you, they'll never truly be done with you. They just want to distance themselves from you so they can go play with other toys. They still want to feel like they can come back to you and mess with you some more, play with their toy a little bit more. So if they break up with you and leave the door open to a reconnection, or you try to reconcile, say, well, maybe we'll get back together, maybe we'll make it work. That's part of the abuse. That's part of the plan for a narcissist. And you're going to have a surprise opportunity here, whether it's for you to instigate or it falls in your lap by them discarding you. You have an opportunity to break free. And guess what? Actually move towards your Ten of Cups energy. Sans narcissist. Let's see hopes and fears. What is Pisces hopeful for? And what are they concerned about? The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You could be scared that you're going to lose a job as a side effect of whatever it is that you're going through. You could be concerned because you don't currently have a job and you're wanting to leave an abusive situation or a problematic situation where someone else has been paying for your rent, your bills, etc. Others of you are just concerned about changing your routine. Like, how am I going to line up everything new in my life? Or how am I going to, like, I have to find a new, what can be an example here? I don't want to go to the same places where they know that is my routine. So whether that's like the bank you go to, or the place you get your hair done, or the place that you get your nails done, it's like they know your routine, so you want to switch it up. Or maybe like you don't want to run the risk of running into them at your usual hangout spots. So you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to do my pub quiz every Wednesday night because Narcissist is going to be there, so I'm going to find a new place to do that. It's like coming up with a new routine. Show me how this all ends up. How does this resolve for Pisces? We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. You're going to be handed an opportunity and you're not going to take it. For some of you, this is going to be the narcissist or the narcissistically behaving person. Now, I'm. Let me say the disclaimer here. I'm obviously not a mental health professional. I have some life experience, and I find it to be my role to share some examples of how I'm interpreting these energies as they could apply to your situation. But you're the only one who knows what you're going through, right? And not knowing you or not knowing any of the people that you're dealing with, I'm in no position to diagnose. Much less, like, I don't have a degree in mental health. I can't do that. I don't have the training to do that. So none of this is intended to tell you that you're dealing with someone who has that diagnosis. Okay, so let me make that absolutely clear. For those of you who may have, thought differently about what's possible for a general YouTube reading, tarot reading on YouTube. If you feel that you are in a relationship with a narcissistic or NPD or dark triad diagnosable sort of person, or let's even take the labels away. If there's someone who's making you feel small and they constantly have the need to undermine you or control you or confuse you or keep you from feeling like you're at your best, I feel like that person could offer you something. And it's like in Snow White, the poison apple. And I hope that that's not like a premonition of an actual attempt at poisoning. Gosh, I'm really treading on thin ice here with this reading. If they offer you food, I would just say don't take it. Like, don't run the risk of anything super dangerous there. But I think it's, as most times with tarot, less literal and more metaphoric. In that it's like this tainted sort of a trap. It's like when you try to, like a mouse trap, right? When you try to catch a mouse with a piece of cheese, it's like, all right, here's an opportunity. We can reconcile. We can get back together. And it's a piece of cheese in a trap. And you're like, oh, yes, thank you. And you're like, trapped. Like, haha, I have you where I want you, under my thumb, under my control. So I feel like rather than this saying that you are trapped, I think it's saying that you don't take the bait. Like it's a false offer, and you see it as such. You get the ick, and you are not enticed, and you say no. Show me advice for Pisces. Page of Pentacles in reverse says you have learned the lesson that you need to learn from this. You don't need to stay in it any longer. It's time to apply the lesson and put down the lesson book. You don't need to keep reading from it. You don't need to turn back to chapter 2 and review all of the lessons that you need to learn in order to pass the test. This is like you're in the test right now. You're ready to... I don't even feel like it's an actual... I mean, I know it's not an actual test, but I don't get the feeling, the sense as I'm reading your energy that this is like gonna come to a head where you're gonna have to demonstrate knowledge. I think you're doing it right now, like through your actions, through your decisions, through the life that you're living. You're applying the new skill, the new knowledge, the new abilities. It's very promising, actually. Spirit is having a lot of faith in you to make the right move here. So I feel like you're on the right track. You recognize the situation for what it is. You're ready to apply the knowledge and the lessons that you've learned. That's what I wanted to say. Apply the lessons that you've learned thus far and elevate your outcome moving forward. Get to that 10 of Cups. So Pisces, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this helped. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next time.